Today's adventure begins as we pick up for our original series of Highway 411, entering part 3 of this grand adventure. So we are now in the town of Anglewood, right where we left off for a few episodes ago. We took a little break from the series and we're going to keep going and see how far we make it. Probably split up a couple vlogs on the way, so we're going to explore just a little bit of Anglewood. Really not much happening because we did a little exploration last time on that side of this town with the remnants of the old train station where it used to be. But then we're just here in the main street of town right over here. And hello my friends, Mr. Nomad Ben here. Welcome to the third part of many parts of the Highway 411 adventure. So we're starting again right here in Englewood, Tennessee. And we're just going to make our way, hopefully make it to Sevierville in a matter of series. We got a little ways to go until we get to Newport. So just kind of calculating in the time I have available, I highly doubt we're going to make it to Newport anytime for a little bit. So we're going to make a couple of vlogs on Highway 411 here. Hopefully make it to Sevierville. Maybe play around for a filler vlog while we're up there if I have some time. And other than that, yeah, let's keep going on this amazing Highway 411 adventure. Inviting you guys to come with me. And here we go.
Tell us all about where you've been, Nomad Ben. Tell us all about the finer points of living in your traveling. Food, beer, history, nature quest. Every corner of us all to the great Midwest. Tell us all about where you've been, Nomad Ben.
And there's the Anglewood Water Tower right ahead of us and the Baptist Church. And here is some murals of the Appalachian Quilt Trail. And there's like painting quilts of what this town of Anglewood has to offer if you're driving through town. Like the junction station, the Chestnut House, the bottling company, the school, the old gas station. That is really cool. And there's a quilt of children. And the Anglewood Police Station, established in 1908. They even got one of those old-timey phones. Even though it's kind of crazy. I grew up with phones like that. But now it's considered old-timey. You put a quarter in and you make your phone call. It's a mural of New York City. And I'm not sure how old this particular mural is. I don't know if it has anything to do with 9/11 or probably does, but there's the Twin Towers. But even so, it's definitely an older mural for sure. Over here is like an old barber shop with a traditional barber pole. And then there's a Toyota bench. Kind of look inside here. Old barber chairs. Look at that old radio right there. And an old-timey Coke cooler, if you guys could see it. And right next door to the police station is this little get up here with the little version of the Anglewood Water Tower. A little courtyard, really. And a mural of the Englewood area. Kind of make your way over here. One of the major donors that contributed to the mural. Gonna get a better look at the mural. Hardware coffins. Well, this is nice though. There's the bottling company. There's some placards over here. We'll kind of make our way over to read some history. And the Tennessee Overhill experience from furs to factories. Pause if you want to read. Kind of like the town of Cedartown, Georgia, like a textile town. This too had some of their fair share of textile history. And there's the map of where we're at in Highway 411. Here we are right here in Englewood. And we're going to keep going up until we probably get to Maryville or Sevierville in the next series of vlogs. Then there's a little replica of the water tower. It's kind of cute. And then the list of donors all throughout the bricks. And what's this one of? Anglewood Historic Mural. Okay. There's all, I guess everywhere, if you're really doing a deep exploration of the city, you just kind of follow the numbers and what years these were established. The cotton mills, 1850, the Baptist Church, 1892, which would be down the way over there. So this little thing here actually looks like it's more updated compared to these other plaques over here. So the Englewood Water Tower, just a little bit of history about Englewood. At the intersection of Church Street and East Athens Street stands the Englewood Water Tower. You got a QR code for you to scan. I'll kind of zoom in if anyone's interested in looking at the QR code here as you're watching this. A lot of great history in this little town. And as much as I really would like to do a deep dive in these small towns I approach, I also got a lot of ground to cover, so we're going to kind of move on from Englewood in a quick second. But here is the Textile History Museum, currently closed. Little dollhouse and a cactus. And some lady, Benny Rapper's her name. Pause if you want to read, if there's anything you want to see. Part of the Tennessee Heritage Trail, my bad. Oh, a whole bunch of mannequins inside. There's a child, there's a woman. There's a whole village of people in there. And a cotton plant. The antique shop. Even Grogu is considered vintage now. Look at that one. That's this lamp. Looks like maybe a Spanish soldier. Maybe John Smith. I don't know. And there's Jeeves. And that, friends, is Englewood, and kind of brings us all back over here. And then there's the railway, the old train station, my bad. And then there's the abandoned auto shop over there, and then the subway and the Amco gas. Well, let's head more north and see where it takes us. I drove through the towns of Madisonville, and I'm technically in Vonore, but I'm on the other side of the river. Nothing really interesting to capture on Madisonville, but over here I just wanted to veer off and head into the area of Tellico Blockhouse. A lot of history here. Pause if you want to read. The Tellico Blockhouse was a United States fortification construction in 1794. It was used through the 1807. Primarily, the Tellico Blockhouse served as a check against white settlement deeper into the Cherokee lands. It also served as a home of the Teleico factory, a trading post, and diplomatic station for interactions between Cherokee and federal government. Wow. You know, there's the island over here. Technically, we're right outside of Fort Loudon State Park. But we're gonna go for like a quick walk to go find the Tellico Blockhouse. So I guess this is one of the very few nature quests that I go on. These are the kind of the more I'm more comfortable with too, to go by myself. If I'm ever going deep into the woods with somebody or anything, I'd rather go with a group of friends. But something like this I could definitely handle. But this is a very beautiful spot right here. So right outside of Loudon and Vonore. So it's right off of Highway 411. And I think I see the remains of the Tellico Blockhouse. And here we are, friends, the Tellico Blockhouse and trading post. This thing has been here since the 1700s. Of course, it's probably been refurbished and rebuilt for the past couple hundred years, but we can at least kind of look around where the area used to look like a remnants of probably old homes or shops would have been at. The sun is out right by the flag, but let me see if I can get a good view of the flag up there. It's definitely an older flag. Can't really see it. Yep. Very old flag. Yeah, look at this, folks. This is pure history. And then there's the island right over there. And Fort Loudon State Park is roughly on the other side of the river here. Where the Teleico and the Tennessee River meet. Oh, here's a better view of the flag. Wow. This thing's been around for so long. It's actually pretty nice for something upkept and refurbished from history, because I remember going to I believe it's called Fort Massac State Park in Illinois with Chet the Dream Poet, and the things just kind of look all run down, and it seems like the Historic Society doesn't really care. But what I like about Georgia and Tennessee, they seem like they really care about their history here and preserve it as much as they can. Very cool. There's a well over there. Let's go check that out. Oh, well, this isn't a well, but... well, that goes down pretty deep. An old brick. I'm walking on history. I just touched some history. There's the bottom of the well. All right, well, Tellico Blockhouse, folks. Native American history right here. Very cool. Now I'm in the town of Greenbeck, Tennessee. Kind of in the boonies of the woods. There is the Greenbeck Castle. It's kind of in a very interesting spot in the state of Tennessee, right off of 411. But this was something I could not pass up. Hey everybody, Ben from the future here. I just want to let you guys know that this particular attraction took up a lot of my time on this adventure, and I've only had so much time to film as much as I could because I want to get on to the other parts of my adventure. So just letting you know, this is a very detailed attraction. So if this is something you're interested in checking out, sit back, relax, and this is the rest of the vlog. So enjoy, and let's get back to the adventure. Got an alligator, an old water spigot, Area 51 at own risk. Of course, you're going to need Jesus to protect you going through Area 51. Welcome to Fort Armageddon, the war bet. Okay. The old rocket ship. And this is Googleable, and it is open to the public, so you can find it on Google if you're interested in checking this out. The Almighty is now science fact. Where are our scientists? No God, no hope. No God, no hope. It's kind of like a religious structure a little bit too. I really don't know how long this structure's been around in the little town of Greenbeck. I guess we're supposed to spell Jesus out of golf balls. Well, like I always say, friends, there's always a guardian angel looking over your shoulder. A lot of guardian angels set up in this little castle here. There we go. Here's actually a real spelling of Jesus. Jesus is king. The little Victorian ceramics. And there's Mary, Joseph, and Jesus. And the wise men. A lot of cherubim and angels all here. Everything. Don't visit at night, as it says. No human put this up. I put the paint around it. Little owls. Another guardian angel. This is the most interesting, out of all my adventures I've been on, this has to be far by one of the most interesting spots. Finding a religious castle in the middle of Tennessee. You have visitors at own risk. Native Americans. Little cannonballs. What if that really was in the war? Probably not. Or there was cannons that small. We're gonna make it on the other side of the castle real quickly. This place is kind of giving me the creeps. I didn't realize there's the three-eyed alien from Toy Story dressed up as Sully. A lot of broken ceramics over here. And a bald eagle. America. Oh yeah. You guys can hear the chickens or the roosters in the background. We got some chickens here, but I promise you those are not making those noises. Satan has almost owned this place twice. Satan cannot survive unless he can own or destroy this place. I need a lot of God's people and others because Satan is going to send his best troops. Jesus Christ, and then they're supposed to spell Jesus as King here. Due to old age, I need to hire some help. If you have any extra change, if not, come on in. Oh, there's more to it in the back. I didn't know there was more to this place. This is really cool. And there's supposed to be either the veil that was torn or represents the cloth that was wrapped around Jesus after he died. No alcohol. I want to get drunk. Winnie the Pooh. Good. Jesus Lord. Look at that. Far by one of the most unique attractions I've seen. You are not seeing the beginning. Find you are seeing the end of the beginning. If you do not know where it came from, then how will you know where it is going? The pale horseman is inside this wall. Do all you can. Nothing in the world is going to matter but what is in this place. At own risk. Oh, there's a structure. Okay, I guess we'll make our way up in a second then. Turn my flashlight. I'm not going to go any more further inside. This came up. I put the paint around it. The Pale Horseman is now on Earth. Nothing in here. Alright, let's make our way upstairs. There's just some let's do it that's actually safe to walk on. Okay. See, so you can sustain my weight. Even though I've been trying to lose a little weight. Interesting. Okay. Oh, that was creepy. Bear. All right, anything interesting to read here. Satan will not waste his best troops on easy places, and people guess where he is going to place his best troops. Then it says welcome to, and kind of fades out. Don't worry about things of today. Look how fast yesterday went by. Christ's temple has already arrived. He'll be along soon. Important video, Floyd Banks by Fred Subscription YouTube. I'll have to look at Floyd, whoever the Floyd Banks is, leave in the comments below, but I'll have to look him up myself. Look, there's Ernie and Miss Piggy. Amazon has out 2 books, Fortress of Faith. So that we may know what's happening in the world, the Pale Horseman has arrived on Earth. You can see him on the big wall in the little room. This is real. I didn't see the Pale Horseman. I might go back and find him. More guardian angels. You leave your ledger here. Write my YouTube channel name later. Little newspaper articles. There's a toy castle. My buddy Michael and I would play with that when we were kids. Little plastic soldiers, like knights and stuff. Well, the lights are currently off. Oh, creepy doll. This is probably going to take up most of my trip. This will probably be the end of part 3, actually, because there's so much stuff in this castle. I think this is going to take up a good chunk of the adventure here. Bible people, Hall of Fame, this is real. Let's see. The government and UT have verified this place is real. This may be the only place on Earth that a person can see what the Bible people look like. Her old grandfather clock, I didn't realize that either. All right, let's make our way upstairs. Turn off my flashlight. Make sure the structures can hold my weight. Whoa. Watch high steps. All right, I gotta be careful with that step right there. Okay, that's creepy. Alright. Yeah, some of these steps I'm kind of uneasy about. But I think there's a reason why it says at risk. Alright, let's move on. All right. Gonna see if there's any more to this castle. Let's see, the big wall in the little room. I couldn't find the Pale Horseman, and honestly, I don't know if I really want to. Here is a maze over here. I want to be careful going not too far, because I don't want to step on any cottonmouths or copperheads. Look at all the beer bottles. Go back, take another path, you are lost. I'd rather just turn around. Alright. Little heads behind jails. See, there's Bart Simpson and Lisa Simpson, Garfield, Bugs Bunny, Marge, Homer, Apple, Snoopy, Charlie Brown. Oh no! Oh my gosh, that's Beetle, Bailey, and Sarge. Now that is something I haven't seen in probably about 10 years. I used to read the comics when I was a lot younger, when I was living in Chicago. I even have like a whole thing of comics of Beetle Bailey and it's just Beetle Bailey really. And a spinoff was actually of Hi and Lois, his sister, actually. Phil and Lil from Rugrats. There's Charlie Brown and Lucy. Dennis the Menace. I think that's Dennis the Menace, and that's his sister, I think. I think that's General Half-Track from Beetle Bailey. I want to know how long this structure has been here. There is, oh my, this is a crazy runoff here. I think I'm going to keep going. Anything else around the castle? A bunch of wildlife down that direction. Kind of a preservation of the animals. Deep in there. Alright folks, I think this is going to end part 3 of Highway 411 because I want to keep going. You know, I got so much time left on this trip. But this was very interesting. Free food at Castle Pantry. This was one interesting experience out of all my adventures. Almost 5 years of being a YouTuber. This has been crazy. Let's go find that pale horse one more time. And that, friends, is going to end part 3 of the Highway 411 series. I'm trying to limit of how much I film per episode because I want to make sure that you guys are being engaged or and also enjoying my content. So between 20-30 minutes an episode. So we're going to end it here. Then next week we're going to continue on to try to make it to Sevierville and hang around there for a little bit. I only got so much time until I have to go back home to obviously be with my family. But yeah, but what an adventure in this one. Anglewood's a really interesting town, and running into the Tellico Blockhouse, and then this. And this took up a lot of time. I didn't realize how much detail this castle was going to be. I just found this on Google, and it just took you in a very most interesting place in America. So if you like this kind of stuff, this is a very creepy vibe, but it's pure history. It's a roadside attraction. It's Googleable. So I want to see why they want to put something on Google if you weren't able to visit something like this. But they do say visit your own risk, so I'm pretty sure that means like the structure of this castle, because when I was going up and down those steps in there, because I'm still a pretty big guy. I've been trying to take better care of myself. I've lost some weight, but of course, well, a lot of that had to do with my back breaking. But anyway, I'm just saying, there's go in there at your own risk. It's just very interesting and really creepy, but it's a good, really fun vibes in there. So whatever you want to do, take your risk by getting into the Greenbeck Castle in the town of Greenbeck, Tennessee. Well, friends, if you do like this particular adventure, like, subscribe, like doing so, and I'll see you guys next week as we continue our Highway 411 trip. See you guys later.